This show always has its moments. It's never void of drama per se, but there was a level of disrespect that took place in this episode that was kind of hard to actually view. We're going to talk about it.
And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I want to put my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Cookie?
Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Season 6, Episode 1 of Iyanla Fix My Life. You know that I usually don't review this show. I don't usually review it, though I watch it. I watch every episode. Big fan. Big fan of Iyanla Vanzant. I'm a big fan of the show, but I just usually don't review it. I will come on and I'll talk about it when something really goes down. Like if something's really, really out of whack with it, then I'll come and I'll talk. In this case, something was really out of whack, and the situation itself was real deep. And then I got a lot of people who contact me and was like, James, I want to know what your take is on this whole Kimiyah Mobley situation. So let's talk about it. Kimiyah Mobley is actually, she's a 19-year-old who was abducted from birth, right from the hospital. And then she was raised by a woman who had basically kidnapped her. Now at the age of 19, this woman is in jail. She is in relation with her actual biologicals, and to say the least, they're dysfunctional. Why they're dysfunctional, that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother can of worms. Her mother was only 16. The mother was only 16 when she had her. So, I don't know what her whole life story is, but the big thing is that the birth mother is the one that actually reached out to Iyanla in the show, and then she decided not to show up. So that was problematic for me from the door. So the father is actually there. He is a pretty spineless individual in my eyes. He was there with another woman. I guess that's his chick for now, and he made some comments that made me think that the birth mother, actually did have some issues. They haven't been together since a little while after Kimiyah was actually born. And her name is not even Kimiyah. Like they're calling her Kimiyah. She's answered to Kimiyah, but she's been raised and being called Alexis. That was the other name that she had. It's just a ball of confusion. The mother and father have been not together, like I said, a little bit after the baby was abducted and all of that. They were young people. And there was a comment made that the mother, she thought that they were all going to just be like a family, like they were all like, either she was going to get him back in her life. You know, when Kimiyah came back, like they were going to go back 19 years and become this family. And I'm like, she's a little delusional, you know, so there's some problems with her. And I can imagine she went through a large mental turmoil, you know, to have your baby literally ripped from your arms. And it wasn't like you put it up for adoption or anything like that. It's just some really crazy stuff that went on. A lot of issues. And one of the bigger ones is that the mother and father don't want Kimiyah to have any contact with the kidnapper, which is the other mother, the actual mother, the woman that actually raised her. And the funny part is, this little girl actually looks like the woman that abducted her and looks nothing like her real family. That was like the craziest thing to me. All while this baby's growing up and you're looking at these pictures, she looks exactly like this woman that stole her. I said, wow, that's crazy. So the mother was a no-show. Daddy has no backbone. And then there's this boyfriend. And Kimiyah just basically runs him. You know, he didn't have a whole lot to say. You could tell she basically runs him. She runs everybody for the most part is what it was. And everything was cool. And I'm not going to go through the whole show and all of that. I mean, you know, Iyanla was doing what Iyanla was doing. What I'm talking about is this disrespect part. They were building this narrative that everything was just so good. And, oh, you know, we're learning these things about Kimiyah. She's a little confused, a little scared. She keeps to herself, this, that, thing, and the other. And then as soon as Kimiyah didn't get her way, we saw Kimiyah. Kimiyah is a problem. Okay? Kimiyah didn't get her way. Baby, let me tell you, just like her mother and father are a little dysfunctional, she carries that trait too. She got to carrying on and cussing and fussing and insulting folks and threatening folks. I said, okay. Iyanla told the father from the door, now you're going to have to step out. You basically can't, you can't come to her rescue because she has to do her work. You got to do yours. Yours is stepping out of the way and letting the process take place. Because he said, well, I don't want, you know, he was telling her basically how he's trying to stand in to, you know, in the way of that relationship she has with the woman that's in jail and all of this stuff. And she's like, you got to, you can't do that. You can't do that. And she's like, so I'm going to basically, what I need to do to get in, because she's telling her, she kept telling her, like, I don't have no feelings. I don't feel no way. Like, I'm just numb. And she's like, She said, well, what I'm going to have to do is make her mad at me to get her feelings to start to erupt. And then once her feelings begin to erupt, it'll open her up. And then maybe she can go ahead and work through what her feelings and her frustrations are, because they're there and I can see them, but she's in such a way where she's fighting to keep them hidden and keep them bottled. And that is not good. So she said, you're not going to answer your phone when she tries to contact you. We're going to let her be mad at me. It's no problem because I'll fix it later. Let her be mad at me. And he's like, well, what if it doesn't work? What if you're wrong? And she's like, what if? What do we have to lose? What do we have to lose? Because everything's all messed up now any old way. And she's not in a good state. So what do we have to lose? Well, Iyanla goes ahead and she basically tells him, you know, your dad's not going to answer you when you call. She says, I'm going to keep you here for the night. No, that's the problem. I ain't staying here by myself. I ain't staying here tonight. You know, this, that, the other. That's what we started to see when Kimiyah doesn't get her way. How this other, I mean, it was like immediate. How this other personality kicked in. I was like, whoa, okay. So she's telling her, you know, she's like, my dad's going to answer first. She said, he's not going to answer you, love. He does what I tell him to do. This, that, and the other. And he better, if he don't answer me, we going to have a problem. Then you going to go. I said, oh, baby, so you used to running everybody. So whoever this woman is that kidnapped you, one thing I'm seeing is you kidnapped the baby and then you didn't raise it. So you didn't do the baby any favors. You done screwed her life up by kidnapping her and you ain't taught her shit. So you really didn't help her, because I can't imagine that you were this stand-up parent when this little whore is carrying on the way that she's carrying on. I mean, when I say carried on, she called Iyanla Vanzant every kind of man-looking bitch, ugly bitch, and I'm not afraid of you, and I done knocked bigger bitches than you down, bitch, and you don't know you get ready to get hit, bitch, and all of this. And she's all this rah-rah and all this about it, and all you're doing is talking, because anybody that was as about it as she claimed would have already hit Iyanla, because Iyanla was just standing there looking at her like what she is, a little girl. A little girl. And she's talking to her. She's like, I never lied to you. I never lied to you. This is what I said. You know how Iyanla does. This is what I said. This is what we were going to do. This is what's being done. And you told me that you didn't have any feelings, love. Look, you do. Now, do you want to deal with all of this? Or what are we going to do? You better go and get my dad. You better, and I'll don't fucking keep talking to me. And she's a loudmouth. She's a loudmouth. And I said, they better get a hold of her quick. And like Iyanla said, she's so explosive that she is not any good to herself or anybody else. Because when she goes into the real world, all that right there will have your ass laid out on the curb. Because if somebody actually felt like you were this person that you're putting on to be, they will hurt you. They will hurt you. Because see, I wouldn't allow anyone, male, female, or otherwise, any age, up on me as closely as Iyanla actually allowed her up to her with that behavior. I would put you down. I wouldn't even allow you that close to me. You'll never get the upper hand on me like that because I'm not even going to let you be that erratic and in my space. I'd have knocked her the fuck out. I would have cold cocked the shit out of her. She went on, talked about how she'll stab her, and oh, she carried on. She carried on something terrible. And like I said, it was very hard to watch. It was hard to watch. It was just so problematic. I said, look at her. Insult the grown-ass woman. You don't have no respect. I mean, because Iyanla hadn't really done anything to even warrant that behavior. I was just done. And so by the end of this, the father, then he steps in and he's making excuses for her behavior. I said, so this is what they allow. They're like, we've never seen this part of her. Okay, well, you don't realize that that's a problem? But you ain't got no backbone. I said, no, you really don't see that it's a problem. And nothing actually got done. There was no progress done. No progress with this, but this is what it actually showed. I said, well, you know, this is a good thing that she showed it because it's not always peaches and cream and everybody don't walk away smiling and grinning. And this is just the reality of it all. Actual reality TV. A loose goddamn cannon. She's loose, but they better get a hold to her because somebody out in this real world will hurt her. And more, the cops would have put her down. If this would have been a situation where the police had to be called in, they would have put her down. They would have. They would have. Black woman carrying on like that, baby, you just as good as dead on arrival, honey. They'd have put her down. She was a mess. An absolute mess. I was like, wow, Iyanla. And I got even more respect for you at this point because I don't even know how you stood up underneath that, baby. I couldn't. Man-looking bitch and this, that, and the other. And girl, bye. So that was it. Y'all wanted my feelings on it. There's my feelings on it. Miss Kimiyah is a bit much. She's a bit much. She got some issues and her story is bad. It really is. But the people around her are not any help at all. They're no help because they're allowing her to indulge in very bad behavior and making excuses for it, which is not helping her at all. It's not going to help her. She's in a real dangerous place, especially in the climate that we're in right now. Child, just remember, DOA, girl, she needs to be stopped. She needs to be stopped. But anyway, all right, you guys. Y'all wanted it. There you go. That's how I felt about it. Terrible. Very hard to watch. Alrighty. Later.